It is fun. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Okay. So now I just got a alert on YouTube that I'm live on YouTube. Yay! I can't figure out how to get rid of the other YouTube channel because it has some. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're taking a breath. Good. So everybody that is on Facebook currently, if you want to hop over to YouTube, you will A, find me, and B, hear me. Really good. And honey. Okay, I'm going to answer that. Honey, I'm literally live, but I'm now on YouTube. You can hear me. Go back, okay? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, wasn't that fun? Broadcast pause, resume. Oh, my God. Oh, okay. Okay, and then I paused the broadcast, so now all the Facebook people think again. Okay, hi everybody coming in on YouTube. So I do have slides today for a readable view of the slides. You can hop over to our YouTube channel. The majority of them are pictures, so you should be fine over on Facebook. I know you guys like Facebook, and I like the little hearts you give me. Anyway, but if you can hear me on YouTube, if you can give me one thumb up. I've got one thumb up, and I've got several people. Yes, you can hear me on Facebook. You guys know that? How do you know that you can hear me on Facebook? I don't, because you're magic. Okay. All right. So we're going to take a breath. We're going to take a pause and just let everything go that's happened before this moment. And I'll invite you just to take a breath with me in through your nose and out. And right here, just pausing, dropping down into the space that is our heart. In this space, we are one with the present moment. There is nothing for us to do or be. This is just a moment of allowing the perfection of quiet. Sometimes as we live and we go throughout our day, we forget that this space that we've dropped into right now is actually available to us at all times, in every moment. It is our intention to be reminded that we can drop into this space, no matter what the outer conditions are, and rest at home in our heart, our Christ nature, at home in our body, and one with all that is. So we'll take one more breath together. And as you're ready, you can come back to this moment in time and space. I think I forgot to turn off the live chat on YouTube, but that's okay. We're going with everything. We're going with everything that happens today because that is the lesson. That's what life is showing me to do. So I had a great book gifted to me by Lori. Thank you, Lori, very, very much. And this book, I've been using it since I got it. I guess it seems like a long time ago, but I actually think I was just handed the book like maybe a few days ago. But it feels like I've been living with it for a while now. And I want to share with you some insights and some realizations that I've had from this book. I'll read from it. I'll tell you the title, but right now I'm not telling you the title because it's suspenseful, right? It has a little element of surprise. And so we're born. And when we're born, there is a moment in which we experience our first fear, our first fearful separateness, our first, whether it's conscious or unconscious, the recognition that we are separate. We appear to be separate, and that we have these needs. And how are we going to get these needs met? And so from right away, and some of us, depending on the circumstances of our childhood, some of us don't have someone leading us by the hand and reminding us how to repair this fear or how to address this fear. And so there is kind of brokenness after brokenness that begins to happen within our heart space. And what that teaches us is this heart space, it hurts when it breaks. It hurts to be broken. And so right away, we begin to use our mind to figure out how we can protect ourselves from this hurt that happens to our heart. These scars, every time we get one, every one of these wounds, they really hurt. And so our mind goes to work, and it comes up with lots of strategies as to how to keep that heart insulated from other people, insulated from the world, and insulated from our experience so that we don't have to experience that level of hurt. And so the mind has gone to work, and these are the coping strategies that we talk about all the time, right? These strategies that we come up with and we build around this heart space that we have. And I know that we have talked, I've shared a little bit about what's going on with me, and I put in the burning bowl that, I know that there's this next layer of protection I have around this broken heart of mine. And I didn't know exactly what that layer was. I didn't want to name it. I just said, whatever that layer is, I want to let that layer go. And, disclaimer for the burning bowl is just always, honestly, guys, like, be careful what you ask for, because there is such power and intention to that. And that is exactly what is happening. And so what is happening now is all of those coping strategies, this next layer that has been covering up this wounded, kind of scarred heart of mine, it's dropping away. And what's happening is my heart and its wounds are being exposed to the air. They are being exposed to the light of day, and it feels really raw and vulnerable. And I was talking earlier this week with Mary, and I recognized, I always, not always, but at some point I recognized pretty early on that healing has layers. And that there are layers of healing that we go through, like the layers around that heart space, that it happens in layers. I didn't realize that vulnerability happens in layers. And if you had asked me 5 months ago if I was a vulnerable person, if I showed up in the world with vulnerability, I would have said to you unequivocally, absolutely, I sure do. I sure do. And now that this next protective layer has begun to fall away, I recognize that there is another layer of vulnerability that I had not reached yet. And so we're exposed. I'm trying to remember which order I wanted to do this in. Which order did I want to do this in? Okay, so we've got our broken, wounded heart. And there is an answer to tending to this broken, wounded, fearful heart. And it has nothing to do with our mind. It has to do with our embracing it and giving it unconditional love and self-compassion. Unconditional love and self-compassion to all of the dark spaces, to all of the shadowed elements of the heart. So I want to read something to you now, and this is actually the first thing I'm going to read is going to be an exercise. So this is an experiential day here at Unity of Appleton and Unity of Appleton virtually. So I am going to invite you to follow these instructions. The name of the book is Heart-Minded. The author is Sarah Blondin. This book is amazing. And in it, she gives meditations throughout. And she tells you where to find the meditations for free online. But what I did was I got the Audible version so that I have both the hard copy and the Audible version so that I can, as soon as she's done talking and it's time to drop into one of these meditations, I turn my Audible version on and I let her lead me through the meditation. So I am going to lead you through a meditation now called Mind, Meet, Heart. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and move into a state of calm receptivity. I am going to guide you through a short prayer to your mind. I want you to hear these words as your own, allowing them to soak into your being. And now place one hand on your heart and another on your forehead. This makes a bridge between your heart and your mind. Dear mind, I bow to you and honor your great powers and the tireless work you do for me. You are a part of me, and I love you. But I wish for you not to continue to look for the things that hurt me and hurt us. We must stop repeating that which does not serve us. I choose to move into my undefended and fearless heart. Mind, when you start producing thoughts that squelch joy, I ask that you stop and stand as a fortress of love for me, repeating not the negative story of self-protection, but the mantra that love is all I need. Love is all I need, am, and desire. Please align with me in the tenderness of my being always, in the soft animal of my heart's deep knowing. Please do not look for my pain in hope to eradicate it, but instead take what hurts and stop it from spinning in its orbit. You are my ally, my friend. I love you, mind. We are here to help one another, and this is how you can better serve me. Please, and thank you. Now take both your hands and place them on top of your heart. I want to leave your mind behind now. You can do this by letting all your thoughts go for a moment. Let even your personhood go, your identity as mother, father, son, or daughter. Leave what you are proud of what you can't forget, what you keep reliving. Leave it now. You can let things go. Enter the empty, sacred space right here in front of you. Bend your head down slightly, as if bowing to your heart, and gently lean into your heart center. Allow yourself to deeply rest in this position of surrender. Feel your heart open more fully with each moment you spend with it. Give it room for just a moment. Give it room for movement. Let it hold you. Notice that while there may be a lot going on for you, you too have this refuge of the heart. It is always ready and always willing to hold and support you. This heart of yours wants to give to you. Listen now to this message from your heart. May I remind you of my service to you. You may put down what is heavy and come to me when you feel most afraid, lost, or in need of love. I am here at your beck and call. Please do not work so hard at keeping me safe, for I can never be broken. Work to soften the walls built around me, and I will fill you with reward and relief. Whatever you are in need of, I will give you. There are no wars to be fought. There is nothing to run from. For my gift to you is to soothe these very things, to alleviate your burden. This is why I'm here. This is my service and gift to you. Open your eyes now. Notice any small sparks of relief beginning to glimmer within. The embers warm at your core. Feel your wide open eyes and the relief of realizing your agency. Rejoice, dear one. You are coming home. So this is just to remind you that Heart Meet Mind is the name of the meditation. You can find that meditation, and the book is Heart Minded, Sarah Blondin. And up top it says, mind often stands in the way of grace. Remember that dimmer switch analogy that we've talked about a lot? The amount of grace that we allow in any given moment is like a dimmer switch. And depending on where we are in consciousness, depends on where that dimmer switch is and how much grace you're letting in. So grace, my favorite definition, the givingness of God that is available to everyone in every moment. And I want to remind us that this heart that we're talking to, this is our Christ nature. That is where and what lives within our heart. And now, in order to open up to grace, in order to allow in grace, what we have to stop doing is protecting our heart from getting hurt. We have to decide that what's more important than protecting our heart is trusting in grace to take care of it. Trusting in the givingness of God that is available in every moment to take care of it. And to cease this never-ending trying to protect. And so I'll read to you just a little bit about what she said about grace. Grace is an invisible force of support. It is what saved me from the fear, depression, and self-depreciation. Self-deprecation. I got it. And self-deprecation that we all endure due to our initial splitting off from our hearts. By focusing on the silent presence of grace through my practice of meditation, I was able to come back into myself and my heart. Fine-tuning my rapport with grace is what made me feel safe enough to heal. What I wish someone had told me was that my first step, the first step we must all take in our life, needed to be inward. The most important thing I could learn to do was to sit still and open to what was inside of me, and that the rest would come more easily from there. And that includes sitting with the dark stuff in there, the pain that's in there, instead of going to a coping strategy or a numbing strategy or a let me run from this strategy or get busy in some way strategy. Let me just sit and open to the feeling of this pain and see what happens. When I was lost and desperate for direction and support, I wish someone had told me what I was really longing for was to meet myself, that nothing else would soothe me until I first came to touch my own divinity, which is your heart. I put that part in. While no one may have taught me these things, a higher force was at work. Something reached out from deep inside me and pulled me inward. I call that grace. Grace is a hand that reaches through the density of our lives, our heartache and struggle, and brushes the angst from our brow. It is disguised in people and poetry or in bursts of beauty that catch us off guard. Grace cannot be seen, it is felt. It is that feeling of being overwhelmed by goodness. It comes like a great benevolent gust, making us agape at the sheer mercy being blown our way. I most feel grace, however, as a deep, unwavering force at the core of everything. Me, you, the universe. And it always seems to be working to pull us up and out from our current stuckness into something more truthful and more meaningful. It operates even when we are most in despair. I'm going to read that again. It operates even when we are most in despair, ever so gently, trying to shift our gaze and our awareness back to our heart. I didn't have to choose this. This choice was and is made for me every day that I am alive. And it's made for you too. I put that in there, just in case you didn't pick up on it. Grace works tirelessly out of love and devotion in the name of all living things. With or without our consent, grace is always at work, nudging us to explore our internal landscape. If we follow Grace's call, we discover that underneath the knots and noise of our lives sits a loving presence, unaffected by what is happening on the outside. A universal current leading all of us to a state of acceptance and peace. It shows us that no matter the circumstance, there is a force of unfathomable excellence and intelligence holding us. Even in our most gutted places, we are not just held, but uplifted, urged, encouraged, and shown the truth underneath all experience. No matter the size of our pain, there is a stillness and deeply loving force trying to lift us above it. I could read more, but instead I'm going to share a little bit about what my experience of this right now. I am having moments, particularly in the middle of the night. I wake up in the middle of the night, and in the middle of the night, it's as if I'm being crushed with grief. It's like I'm just being crushed by it. And what I have heard Sarah Blondin say in this is that my job is to just open to it. And grace has allowed it to happen in the middle of the night so that I can do it on my own without my children or anyone else bearing witness to it. I get to be raw and vulnerable and feel it and stand beside it without thinking about what it must look like to whoever might be watching or listening. One of the things that grace has called me to this week. So I talk about being a type 5 in the Enneagram, and this isn't a talk on the Enneagram, although I have to be fair. To be fair, guys, I didn't want to do this talk. I wanted to do a talk on the Enneagram, and that's actually what I was working on all week. And then I knew I wasn't supposed to. I knew I wasn't supposed to give a cerebral talk today, and so I didn't, and I'm not. But as a type 5, what happened for me with that heartbreak, with that broken heart, with that experience of fear, I dissociated and I went into my head and I said, hey, it's safe up here. Stay up here and you'll be okay. Stay up here and you'll protect that heart of yours. And one of the byproducts of that was that I also moved up out of my body. So not only did I leave my heart, I left my whole body. And I've just been this head floating around space for the last 40 years, living my life as a head, thinking emotions and instead of feeling them, thinking about working out instead of doing it, that sort of thing. And there were several synchronicities happened. I had a really hard night one night where with some really disturbing dreams, and it was dream after dream after dream of disturbing dream. And I woke up and I had all of this energy coursing through me, and I thought, I need to run. I can't run. I need to run, but I can't run. I need to run, but I can't run. And so I went down and we have an elliptical machine, and I just started on the elliptical machine, and I just knew that I had to get this energy out of my body. It had to get out somehow. And as I'm doing the elliptical machine, I am hearing over and over again in my head, I want to run, but I can't run. I don't know how to run. I don't know how to run. I can't run. And it hit me that I have had a voice in my head since childhood, and it has to do with that broken heart that said, you can't get away from this pain, from this fear. You can't run. And even in elementary school, they didn't make me run. They let me walk around the track because I would say to them, I can't run. And they'd say, okay. And they'd let me walk around the track. And so I kind of fell to my knees on this elliptical machine, and I'm crying and realizing that I've had this story that says I can't run. And it's just not true. And it is exactly what I need to do is run. And so I call my best friend and I say to her, and I tell her the synchronicities, and she has known me for a really long time. And she has heard me say over and over again, I wish I could run, but I can't run. I look at people running and I go, oh, I wish I could run like those people. I wish I could. I mean, it's so ingrained in me that I could not run from this hurt. I could not run from this pain, that I really believed that I physically couldn't run. And so My best friend said, of course you can run. You know people that run, just reach out to one of them and just start running with them. And I said, I can, I'll feel too self-conscious. And then she said, I know what you can do. Your son, my 10-year-old, who very much identifies as an athlete. And I said, you're right. And so she said, but you probably don't even have tennis shoes. And I said, actually, I did buy tennis shoes. And so, because she didn't think I would even have them. So I had tennis shoes, and she said, okay, then this is what you're to do. Like, it's time to run. You need to run. And so I get, dressed up in running gear, because I actually do kind of have some cute running gear, because again, I wanted to run. I knew I couldn't run, but I did want to run. And so I get on the gear and I go downstairs and I say to my son, honey, I would like for you to teach me how to run. And he said, oh, heck yeah, Mom. Hold on. I'll go get my shoes. And he runs and he gets his shoes and he's so excited. And I said, honey, I need you to understand something first, though. I don't know how to run. And he looked at me and he said, Mom, that doesn't make any sense. Of course you know how to run. And I said, I know it doesn't make sense, but in my mind, I've been telling myself for a really long time that I don't know how to run. And so I really believe that I don't know how to run. So I need you to teach me how to run. I need you to show me how to run. He's like, no problem, Mom. I got it. So he's out there, he runs out. Like, I'm still, like, I had gotten all dressed, but I wanted to have water first. And I felt like it was important to have like something in my stomach. So I had banana, and he's out there stretching. He's getting ready. And I said, okay, and we're going to do this in slow steps. This is what I'm going to commit to. For 3 days, we're just going to do the block. Okay, we're just going to do the block. And, I'm not going to be able to run fast like you, but I'm going to run, and we're going to do it together. And my original thought was that he would keep pace with me. And so we start, and he just takes off like a starter pistol has started. But I realized right away that it's grace again, because I'm watching my son run, and I'm saying to myself, of course I can run. Look at my son. He's running. Of course I can run. And so the whole time I'm running and I'm saying, I can run, I can run, I can run, I can run. And all of this is about letting go of a protective layer that had been protecting a lot of grief around a really broken heart. And it's not hard, it's not always easy. And I can feel, even in the moments of the deepest struggle, of the deepest grief, that it is on purpose and it is healing me. The pain is healing me. It is burning through it. And so as much and as often as I can, I say things to myself. I put my hand on my heart and I say, I love you. You're so brave. I love you. You're so brave. Self-compassion, self-compassion, self-compassion. That's how we become vulnerable enough to let that broken heart meet the world and meet the people around us. And remember, the more we do it, the more the dare switch of grace goes up and shows up for us. So I'll close with one thing. This is a pair of running socks. And Christy bought me this pair of running socks before I made a decision to run at all. And in fact, she sent me the invoice so that she could show me the date on the running socks to prove to me that she actually did not just purchase these. And she even, it says, I am brave. And Grace had her do that because Grace knew I was going to start running. And so we're supported, we're held. The givingness of God is available in every moment. And the vulnerability of exposing our raw, wounded hearts to the light of day is worth it. Thank you for the song. Okay, I am totally emotionally spent. Like I can't do anything else, guys. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. We'll do the daily word. I know I talked a little bit long today. This is the Daily Word. It is a Unity Worldwide publication. You can find it at thedailyword.com. It's a short devotional that gives you an affirmation and a prayer. And today the word is grace. I actually talked about grace, like Jay, like I just want you to notice that I actually talked about grace on a day that the daily word was great. Okay, okay. I was so glad you were going to be here so that I could say that. Okay, so the daily word is grace, and the affirmation is, the grace of God is alive in me. I don't need to do anything to earn or deserve the grace of God because it is always present. Mine to claim in any situation. Grace dawns in awareness as soon as I move beyond the limits of my human understanding. I let go and let the peace, love, wisdom, and strength of God fill me, lift me, and guide me. In both the challenging and the ordinary moments of life, the grace I give and the grace I receive keep the awareness of God in my heart. During a tough conversation, a thought comes to mind that helps reestablish harmony. As I mull an important decision, a fresh insight clarifies my thinking. Feeling overwhelmed by my to-do list, I feel renewed energy and move forward with strength and enthusiasm. In these moments and more, I discover grace anew. And then the verse is John 1:16. From his fullness, we have all received grace upon grace. And I want to say it again. Grace upon grace upon grace. And that's the reminder too, that we get to call on grace. And we know that. We talk about calling on grace all the time. So it is actually at our beck and call. Y'all want to say our vision? Okay. A world powerfully transformed through shared spiritual awakening. And our mission, advancing the movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity, a positive path for spiritual living. And our values, abundance, acceptance, community, diversity, integrity, joy, and love. And we celebrate our kiddos. Unity of Appleton sees the divinity in all children and nurtures their unfolding spirituality. And we'll have our moment of gratitude. I'll invite you to close your eyes and bring to mind a person, a situation, something for which you feel grateful. And I today personally am going to focus on my heart. And I am going to feel grateful that my heart is the heart of Christ and has the ability to guide me in every moment. Smile and say, thank you. Thank you. I remembered announcements, but what you can read in here is different than what you can read out there. It's a very difficult thing. But here's the deal. We have a building and grounds team, everybody, and I'm very, very grateful for that building and grounds team, and I don't want to miss anybody, but I believe it is Scott, and I'm not going to do last names because I didn't ask people, Scott, Keith, John, and Tom. I think that, and Bedford. Our building and grounds committee. We need more people on our building and grounds committee. Do you want to know why, everybody? Because we are preparing the building for getting better. Our target right now, if everything goes according to plan, all the numbers and situations, it looks like July 11th we'll be back in this building together, all of us together. Oh, I should say something. There's a caveat to that. There are stages to reopening. So it will, so for example, the music team's about to find this out, so we'll tell you at the same time. The music program won't be launched until the fall. The children's program won't be launched until the fall. So phase 1 of reopening will look a lot different than it did before, but it will certainly look a lot different than your living room or your dining room. And it will certainly look a lot different to me to have you here. So I am very grateful for phase 1, even though phase 1 isn't the whole shebang. Okay, so we're getting ready to get back in the building. We need as much help as we can get. We've got great things going on. We are expanding the sanctuary, not knocking down walls, Keith, not knocking down walls. But we are moving the office out of the sanctuary, making room for new seating. So many exciting things are happening, but guess what that means? It means we need some muscle. It means we need help taking apart desks and putting desks back together. And we have faucets that need things, and rotor girders to work on. So we are going to need all hands on deck. We'll be announcing some times where we're going to have a weekend where it's like work weekend. Everybody roll up your sleeves. Let's get together and get some of this stuff done. So more announcements on all that to come. Another exciting announcement is on its way to you this week. It is another community opportunity. Everybody keep that in your mind. Community opportunity heading your way this week. It'll be a separate email blast. We will include it in the on people, and that's how we do it around here. Okay, so our affirmation of prosperity. I want to thank all of you for continuing to give weekly. Our sustaining members who over and over and over again give. And I would like to take this moment to say that people believe in giving in different ways. There are some people that feel really comfortable passing around an offering plate and putting money into it each week. There are some people who feel really comfortable pressing that little PayPal button because what I said was just so amazing that you're just so inspired to give us money right now. There are those people. There are those people that are really inspired to give when we ask in the form of a fundraiser. There are those people that are excited to give during pledge time and making a commitment so that they know how to budget. There are so many ways in which people want to give. And I guess what I'm asking is that you would consider giving in whatever way feels good to you. We got a lot to do to get back in the building. We have done so much. We have thrived during this time financially, and there's lots of growth happening. And so, open up those wallets, people. That wasn't very, all right, we're going to leave it at that. Okay, all right. Affirmation of prosperity. Unity of Appleton is alive with the energy of spirit and the flow of divine abundance and radiant with unlimited possibilities. And then our celebration of giving and receiving divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I joyfully give and willingly receive. I give in love and I trust God as my source. Okay, so we're not going to have our community Zoom today, everybody, because we are having our music team meeting. But if you guys out there are inspired to jump on the community Zoom, the link's there. You can just click it and see who shows up. Maybe you guys can just have tea or something. I don't know. But I won't be there, but that's okay. I'm not needed to make it a party, although I am a good addition. So let's do our prayer for protection, everybody. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Okay, thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, Facebook. We will see you next week. See you next time. See you next time. Bye, YouTube. See you next week. See you next week.